What's up, everybody? It's the Greg Effect, back at it with another video. This time, we are going to be rebuilding the Florida Atlantic Owls, most known for their Final Four run in the 2021-2022 season, I believe. But yeah, also known as the team who had Lane Kiffin for about 3 years, and then he, went to Ole Miss from FAU. And ever since Lane Kiffin, they had Willie Taggart, and now Tom Herman, and those guys don't look like they're doing much of anything besides running the program into the ground, especially Willie Taggart. So Coach Greg's going to take over for the FAU Owls. Here's our roster that we're looking at right now. We did a little bit of recruiting. We're a 1.5 star school, so we're really going to only be able to go after 3 stars and 2 stars to start off with. I don't know why, though, because FAU doesn't get 2 stars, but apparently in the game, all it does is get 2 stars. So that's a little weird. But here's our team. Nothing good really at all. Just 73, 74 pretty much across the board. Got a few 80s. Desmond Tisdale, Jarrett Jarrells. I mean, come on. Our best player is going to be Day Hill. 86 overall corner. He's a senior, though, and he's 5'10". So we won't have him for very long. Pretty much everything else. Our secondary is terrible. It's gonna be a problem. So obviously we're gonna be having to do a little bit of recruiting. A lot of bit of recruiting. But here we go. We're gonna jump into the first game of this dynasty, and we're gonna be playing against Michigan State. And we get things started off with a nice little touchdown. So, maybe this is the fastest rebuild ever. But spoiler alert, it's not. But we do end up beating Michigan State 28-23. First game of the season, first game ever with FAU. Easy win. But here's our recruiting board. We're kind of in a good spot right now. We're top 2, top 3 on most guys' board. So that's always nice. Yep, top 2. We got some guys who already, not want to commit to us, but very close to committing to us already, just after the first week. But we're going to go up against UTSA. I simmed a little bit, and we ended up being 4-2. So, we still are in contention to have a nice little conference championship berth. So I went in and jumped into this UTSA game, but I get out there and I throw a pick almost immediately. No, not almost. Exactly immediately. So now we're losing 14-27 against the fucking Roadrunners. So this is a must win, honestly. If we don't win this game, you can pretty much call our season over in college football playoff perspective and standards and winning the conference, because I don't think it's possible playing against a bunch of bum teams, but it doesn't matter because we can't even beat the bum teams in our conference. So, there's that. But we end up scoring a nice little touchdown right before half to make the score 21-27. So we are not out of it just yet. Our receiver Horton snags a nice little slant, and we decided to have me run another play, make it 4 verts. Nice little ball to Horton yet again, who's definitely our best receiver at this point. So there we go. We score a nice little touchdown, and maybe not all hopes lost, but so we end up picking up the win, and if you see in the top, we went 8-5, 5th in the American, and as you see, we got a few guys transferring. So here's a look at our recruiting class. Here's all the players we signed, pretty much 3 stars all across the board. Few 2 stars, but overall a pretty solid recruiting class. And I guess it looks like we're heading in the right direction. We are an 81 overall. This is a preview of our team for this next season. We have Jay Sean Platt. I'm just looking at our receivers now. There's not much of a receiver, but every other position, though, it seemed to have gotten better. We are an 81 overall now. We are a 2.5 star school now. So maybe we are a little bit better, but our linebacking core is also very bad. Our DB, our cornerback room isn't honestly terrible, so there's that. Our strong safety, Dunham, he's pretty good. Transferred from Indiana, but here we go. We need to get on our bag again with recruiting because the players we have now aren't cutting it. So, as you can tell, we just have 2 stars, 3 stars interested in us. But I hate to tell those guys like we're not interested in them. But here we go. Look, this is a 4-star quarterback. We have Cam Fancher. This is last year, so we have to manage to get this guy. We're putting all our chips in, and we're actually number 1 on his recruiting board. So we are in the lead for a 4-star quarterback, which is great. He could be the star of this team, the future. But I'm going to go ahead and jump in against number 20 Iowa. So, yeah, we're down 3-0, which seems very realistic. Iowa having a field goal, not a touchdown. But we managed to get stopped, but it's okay. We're going to kick a field goal. But as you know, kicking in this game is impossible. And here we go. We're down 10-0 now, and I go to kick another field goal, and it's right off the crossbar, Cody Parkey style. So we're down 10-0. We need to pick the pace up, or else we are totally losing this game. We get a nice little juke with our running back, Zuberi Mobley. But as you can tell, Iowa's way too much for us, and we lost. But again, look at our recruiting. Our recruiting is actually really good right now. Especially with our 4-star quarterback that we really need. If we don't get him, I would say the season is over for next season. But look, we get our 4-star quarterback, which is awesome. Perfect. From DeLand, Florida. And we managed to be 2-2 after the Iowa loss. Things aren't looking good already for this season. We end up finishing 7-5, as you can tell by the top. So we did make a bowl, but again, bowl games are meaningless, and we gotta. But as you see, we have a few players entering the portal. We managed Jigman's one this day, but our right end, our 83 overall sophomore, which is big, we cannot lose him. But as you saw, we lost him, so that's actually terrible. But here's a look at all the players we signed. I mean, this class wasn't as good, other than our 4-star. It was mainly just 3 and 2 stars. Definitely more 2 stars now. But our receiver room filled out a little bit. Our tight end room looks really good. This looks like this is the best team we've fielded so far. 82 overall, 84 overall on defense, or 84 on offense and 82 on defense. Our linebacker room got bigger. So pretty much all the positions we lacked depth or good players in managed to fill in. Our cornerback room definitely got a little bit worse, but our safety and our secondary got a little bit better actually. But we're gonna go up against Georgia Tech. So for not our first game of the season, but this is a pretty big game for the Owls. Well, actually, it is our first game of the season. My bad. Not Georgia Tech's first game, but we hit our guy on a bubble. And Cam Fancher steps back. He hits our hitch route. Doesn't really work out too well for us. We got a nice little 3rd and 2, 14 all. We hit our running back on the angle or Texas route, whatever you want to call it, down the middle, and he catches it. So we got to look at a 1st and 10. This is right before half too, so it's safe to say we kind of want this drive, but Cam Fancher throws a pick, so that doesn't work out too well. But we are up 28-24, so you never know. And we have our tight end Ezekiel Moore down the middle of the field for a nice little gain. Now we're running a nice little slant package, and we almost throw another pick. Thank God we didn't. But now we have 2nd and goal. It's 28-24. This is a ranked opponent. This would be the first ranked win of this dynasty. And Ezekiel Moore almost gets in. Our quarterback is actually the 4-star. I gave him the nod because we need him to develop. He's a 74 overall, so, maybe this season isn't going to be great, but next season he'll develop, we'll be good. As you see, We send a keeper with him, and all we're doing is trying to run out the clock, and our running back fumbles, and they take one to the house. So now, from once running in the clock a second ago, we're now gonna have to score, but we do score, and we win. We pick up the win. Not the best looking win, but that's a ranked team. I don't know how long Georgia Tech's going to be ranked for since, well, it's Georgia Tech. So, but we'll take any ranked win we can. So here we are recruiting again. Looking still, we're going after 3 stars really only. We're going up against USF. We end up beating them. We're now 3-1, 4-2, and we're going up against the ranked 18th Charlotte. And the 18th ranked Charlotte 49ers are only a 70-something overall, 77 overall. We ended up simming that game. As you can tell, we got a bunch of 3 stars to commit to us, which is nice. But we lost. So now we're 4-3. And that season basically becomes a wash. And look at the players transferring. 82 overall center. We need that guy. So we are going to ask him to stay. He stays. The rest, it doesn't really matter, but it doesn't hurt to ask our sophomore running back to stay, which we get him to stay. Our junior receiver doesn't stay, which is fine. He sucked. He was never going to play. We don't need him. If you're not committed to the program, you can get lost. So he's leaving. We got a few guys graduating that are pretty good. Justice Cross, our kind of linebacker who was with us the whole entire dynasty. But we have Jamari Sands. We have our quarterback developing. Meeks is developing our quarterback. 83 overall receivers leading the pack. Our receiver room is actually pretty decent. I wouldn't say pretty decent, but it just has a lot of depth, and we need that. Our cornerback room improved. Our safety room improved. We're 85 overall, 87 overall in offense, 85 overall in defense. So we're still going to have to go over recruiting still because, well, we're not in a position where we can just slow down on recruiting by any means. We still are only 80. I mean, we are an 85 overall, which is good. But, I mean, we got to get into the 90s, right? So, we end up starting the season 3-0, as you can tell. And we're playing against the 9th-ranked Gators, who are 2-1 at the crib. And we hit our receiver down the middle with a slant. He catches it. Javier Meeks may actually be a stud. We hit R1 on the bubble screen. He gets in. That's our tight end. Our tight end manages to get one. Well, it's actually not our tight end. I guess it's our slot receiver. But it doesn't matter. We end up winning 28-31. Javier Meeks seems to be the future. He seems to be he's a star quarterback. So as you can tell, we're 4-1 playing against ranked East Carolina. But we end up getting a nice little win if we can recover the onside kick, which we end up doing. So there is that. So we beat ranked ECU. So we are kind of on a little bit of a tear. As you can tell, Jamari Sands, Jamari Sands is kind of a beast. Although we don't really use him because in our offense we don't really run the ball because running the ball is for pussies. Am I right? But looking at a recruiting board now, it seems like Miami's taking every single player. So Miami's ranked first to these kids, which I get it, but Miami can't even fill in their own off-campus stadium as a Power 5 school, so I don't really understand why anybody would want to go there apart from that NIL check. But as you saw, USF 77 overall, and they're 11-0, and I thought we could beat this USF team, and we do not. So that's pretty big. We're a ranked team, and we lost to USF, who's a 70-something overall. I mean, they are 11-0, but can't lose that game. So we ended up not making the playoff, and as you can tell, there's our signings. Just really 3 stars. But our quarterback, Javier Meeks, is a 91 overall. Poindexter, who I actually switched from receiver to running back earlier, That decision is paying off because he is now an 88 overall, and our offensive line is actually really good. We have depth. We have good starters. Our team is actually really freaking good. 80 somethings across the board. We are lacking a 90 overall player on defense, which could be a problem. But apparently our defense is an 89 overall, so I guess it's okay. Our free safety is an 86, pretty much the closest thing we got to a 90 on defense. Our kicker is whatever, who cares? Yeah. So we ended up playing ranked Northwestern our first game, and we freaking lost. That 87 overall team lost, which doesn't exactly make sense. So yeah, there's that. I cannot believe we lost to Northwestern. And as you saw from the top of the screen, our 88 overall team went 8-5. That doesn't make sense, but I guess it is what it is. And you can tell our 93 overall quarterback, he's ready to pack his things, as he is not staying and he's entering the draft, which makes sense. But I wish we could have had him one more year. But here's another look. Here's our signing class for the upcoming year. We are starting to get kids in. We're bringing a couple kids. Not 5 stars, not really any 4 stars, but we're starting to get the job done. We're starting to figure our things out. We are unfortunately 3-3 though. We're playing Tulsa, so theoretically we should beat Tulsa, but it doesn't seem like we beat anybody because if you see on the top of the screen again, we're 5-7. So for whatever reason, we have such a stacked team, but we're not winning games. And here again is our next signing class, and we are just signing class after signing class because it doesn't seem like we can win anything. We get into the game against Mizzou though. We hit R1 on the slant. He catches it, which is all you can ask for in a receiver. But we're down 10-0. And we have another true freshman leading us out on the field. His name is Jelani Bishop. And he's a 77 overall. 70-something. And yeah, I don't know if this is going to be the season. As you can tell, he's having a little bit of struggles. Can't even say struggles. That's how fucking scramble. I mean, he can't even throw the damn ball. We're down 20-7. We need to get a score before half if we want to have any sort of contention in the college football playoff. I mean, we are 3-1, so we do have a chance. But we cannot seem to get anything going as that play goes incomplete. I run a no huddle, 4th and 10 in our own territory, which could be stupid. But stupid works sometimes as our receiver Ncaa gets one down the middle and we convert. Definitely a stupid play call, but it worked. So, life's good. But I see our guy, Ncaa again, burn the corner, and that's a touchdown. Possession, catch it in the end zone, and there we go. He does the dance. We score, and the game is in contention. It is 14-20, but our player gets a false start. But it doesn't matter because Jelani Bishop is going to scramble one in for a nice little touchdown. And we beat Mizzou 41-27, so maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is the year. Jelani Bishop passes for 490 yards and 6 touchdowns. We end up simming a little bit, though. And we just can't seem to figure anything out. We're 5-3, but we did win the next 3. So we're 8-3 against 5-6 USF. I mean, we end up simming. And we're playing Miami in a meaningless bowl. Still great to play Miami, but don't get me wrong. That's not a place where we really want to be. So here we are, first game of the season. We're playing against the number 1 team in the country. And it's a little surprising that the Wisconsin Badgers are the number 1 team in the country. But hey, I mean, we could get a nice little sneaky win against the number one team. So definitely, this is a must win for us. The score is 7-7. Second and goal. We run a nice little RPO play, and our running back manages to get one in for the score. We score. Awesome. But it's 14-10. Our player's running a streak down the end of down the seam. And we score. Our tight end. Our tight end gets one. Yeah, that is a huge one as we're leading and we're driving yet again. 21-17. We hit our little flat route and we get in yet again. That's a touchdown. So, don't look now. But the Florida Atlantic Owls just beat the Wisconsin Badgers 49-39. So, we're coming off, we win the first game. And that's great. Because we sim. And as you can tell, things look good because we had the best tight end in the country. A given award. And if you look at that, we are in the college football playoff. Wow. I'm saying wow like I'm shocked. We have an 89 overall team. So we get in the game. We're playing up against Oklahoma State. We're down 10-0 early. We hit our tight end across the middle. He possession catches it. Maybe he could have got a few more yards, but whatever. 2nd and 5. Our boy Jelani Bishop scrambling in, and he gets the touchdown. There we go. We now take the lead, 14-10, but the Oklahoma State Cowboys get one. But we get one. We get a touchdown. So we're up again. And Oklahoma State just can't seem to stop scoring. So the score's 21-19, but our white boy running back, Christian McCaffrey, if you will, scores. And that would about do it as FAU beats Oklahoma State 28-26 in the first game of the playoff. Jelani Bishop had a good game, and it looks like this could be our year. We're 13-1. We are an 89 overall with a 92 overall defense, so I wouldn't be surprised. But if you've learned anything throughout this rebuild is that it does not matter how good this team is. This team will always continue to disappoint. But it doesn't matter because we hit our boy, number 4. I don't even know the guy's name anymore because I've been at this for way too long. And he scores a touchdown. So we end up taking the lead. We end up winning 42-35. And that's nice. Nice because we get to play the Oklahoma Sooners in the college football playoff. So, we get things started. We're going to audible to a slant package, slant routes, whatever you want to say. We have R1. And that's our running back, Tua Tafiasi, and he gets one down the middle of the field. So, we are driving right now. Early, the score is 0-0, and as you see the corners flip-flop or whatever, thought I could get one, but it doesn't work because we get sacked, not only sacked, but we fumble, and Oklahoma takes that one for 6, so we may have a little bit of a problem on our hands because this Oklahoma team isn't very bad. I mean, we are better overall-wise, but yeah, it's not good. But we hit our boy Tua down the middle again, but this time he's hurt. So that's huge because there goes our running back / receiver, if you will. So yeah, that's not very good. But it doesn't matter because we hit our boy down the middle of the field. And this guy, number 4, who I still don't know his name, is tearing it up. But as you can tell, our receiver, Tua, running back, Tua, has a fracture, and he's going to be done for this game, which is not very good since he's a pretty big playmaker for our offense. But Jelani Bishop scrambles in, and he scores a touchdown. So we have the lead. Will we keep it? Probably not. But here we go. We're driving again. We hit our slant. We hit number 4, who's probably he's the GOAT at this point for the touchdown. 21-17. We try and go aggressive, one down the middle, and it doesn't really work out for us. So we're gonna have to figure out another way to score besides chucking it up. And instead, we hit our Christian McCaffrey. Well, we hit our Christian McCaffrey on a nice little running back. I don't know what you would call that route. Like I don't know, an out or flat out. I don't know. But he gets one, and we're across midfield now, 1st and 10. And we try and hit circle down the middle of the field, but thank God it kind of got the pressure on us, because that ball probably would have been picked off. So that wasn't terrible, but I mean, it's still not very good. But Jelani Bishop takes off with his legs, and there we go. That's a first down. Maybe we can score at before halftime, and maybe that could solidify us a win, because it doesn't look like this Oklahoma team's stopping us. Bishop's out the pocket, and he throws a pick. So scratch that. We are not going to score before halftime. So there's that. But as you can tell, we're in the fourth quarter now. 28-24. And our tight end of the year gets a nice little 4-vert catch, which is huge, because if we score here, I mean, I'd say that just about does it. So this is a crucial drive for us. We run another slant, and our boy can't catch the slant. So now it's 2nd and 10. When it ain't broke, don't fix it, except I was pretty broke on that play. So we go ahead and run the slant again, and it doesn't work. So it's most definitely broke. Will I try it again? No, I will not. We're down 28-24. 3rd and 22. What's the Bishop magic got for us? And he heaves one, and that's a touchdown to the tight end of the year. That's big, because that, my friends, does it as the FAU Owls are champions. After 7.5 years of Coach Greg taking over, the FAU Owls beat the Oklahoma Sooners in the College Football Playoff, and they're champions. Goodbye.